Dear recruiters, these are the 5 things you guys need to start doing in order to earn the respect from software engineers. You're recruiters, you get us jobs. We're supposed to be excited to hear from you, but sometimes we're not. And it's because most likely you're not doing one of these 5 things, if not all of them. Okay, the first thing recruiters need to start doing. Number 1, please email us with care. That means know how to spell our name. Don't send us email where our name's not even on it or some generic term like "Dear Sir." No. Do your due diligence and make sure that our name's there and it's personable. I understand that you might have to send like a blast email, but at least make sure that it doesn't feel like a blast email, okay? And know the 3 pieces of Trinity information that you need in the email: the skills, the location, and then the job salary, okay? Put the salary down. I know there's a lot of hesitation to put it there because you might be scared like a little schoolgirl thinking, oh, if they see the salary, it might not be high enough and then they won't respond. That's like online dating and not putting a picture on. That salary is important, okay? So put the salary there. Put the location and the skills. That's all we need. We don't need to know the history of the company. We don't need to know what the value of the company is. This company is worth $3 billion trillion and they've been around 3 different continents. We don't care about all that. The skills needed for the job, the location, and the salary. All right. Number 2, stop asking us for free referrals, okay? At companies, when we're working there, if we happen to know someone else that can work there and be a colleague, we get referral fees for that. The company usually pays $1,000, $2,000, maybe even more because we save them a lot of time trying to find candidates. That's value. So why do you expect us to just give you that for free, okay? Also, it's not even so much about the money, but it's like, candidates tend to get bombarded by recruiters. So there's a hesitancy to just give out someone else's information. But that's not to say that we can't. And if we are going to do it, offer a referral fee. And I'm not talking about like $50. I've seen something like that. And first of all, some of you guys just started deciding to like offer referral fees. Don't make it like $50 or $100. It has to be minimum at least $1,000, okay? Because you get paid well for finding quality candidates. So if someone just did your job for you, at least pay the referral fee. And for software engineers that are listening to this, if you are gonna, offer up your colleague's contact, make sure you contact your colleague first, and then see if they are on the market and just get their permission first. Don't just give out information. That's a little annoying. All right, so that's 2 things so far. Email with care and stop asking for free referrals. Just offer a referral fee if you expect us to really sincerely give you that, okay? The third thing recruiters need to start doing is to give us interview intel preparation. Did I phrase that right? Give us interview intel. Give us information so that we could prepare for our interviews well, okay? So that means do your due diligence when you send out candidates and they do their interviews, find out what type of questions were asked. Now, I'm not saying go out and get the exact questions and then give like answers to candidates. That's not what I'm asking for. But when we go to do interviews, we like to prepare. Quality candidates like to prepare and have an idea of how the interview might go. That is, are there going to be whiteboarding scenarios? Is there going to be questions related to databases? Is it going to be related to front end? Is it going to be mainly back end question? Is it a mixture? What type of languages are going to be involved? Both mainly JavaScript. Is it going to be C#, Java, Python? If we're going to have to code during the interview, what are we going to be asked to code? What's the program going to do? At least high-level general information so that then we can at least prepare for that interview. That's important. Why would you not want to do that? Because the easier it is for us to prepare, the most likely it is that we could actually get that job, and then you get paid, everybody's happy, and the world is a more lovely place. Get intel. That's number 3, all right? Give us interview intel. The 4th thing I'd like more recruiters to start doing is to listen to your candidates' wants, okay? Stop bending the knee, Game of Thrones reference, strictly for the client. So the client has needs, don't just focus on theirs, okay? And then if, for example, if a candidate wants to work remote a few days, all right, and the client doesn't generally offer that, see if you could get the client to be open-minded and offer that. Don't just say, oh, they don't do that, you know, and then you just cut off that candidate and try to find another candidate that is willing to not have to do remote. No. If there are no candidates, you don't have anyone to give to the client. So we're both equally as important. The candidates are just as important as the client. You can't have one. One is useless without the other. All right? So you want to go to bat for your candidate. And I see some recruiters only batting for the client. And that's not good. We see that. We care more about the recruiters that bat for us, that actually seem to care. So that's number 4. Listen to your candidates' wants. Bat for us. And number 5 is don't ghost. This is not online dating, okay? If you send a candidate out for a job and they for some reason don't get that job, or maybe it didn't go well, don't just drop that candidate and then never call them again or like dodge their calls. I see some recruiters do that. You know what? The problem is there's too many recruiters that are not technically savvy. They're not from the technology background. So they're kind of oblivious to the immense amount of information that a candidate might need to be familiar with to really do well in certain interviews. And sometimes it just takes practice and reviewing and doing it a few times to get the ball rolling, and then before you get a job, an offer, okay? Most software engineers, I'll say this. I've never met a software engineer that didn't get a job, okay? Some of us might get jobs like right off the bat as soon as we go on the market. Some of us usually need to go through 2 or 3 different interviews. My average is I usually interview usually around like the 3rd or 4th interview I start going on the market, I usually start getting offers. That's my average. Some people could do better. Sometimes some people need to go on 7 or 8 or more interviews, okay? Don't quit on candidates so often, so fast, because they didn't do well on the first shot, all right? So try to understand what might have went wrong, and then maybe you guys have dialogue so that they could be better prepared for the next one. Or maybe they did well, but then that client had 4 awesome candidates and they only had one position, and that's what happened, all right? So that's it. Don't quit on people so fast, because all you do is see the dollar and not the human being behind them. We see that, all right? So if you do these things, 1, you email us with care, make it personable. 2, you pay us referral fees if we're gonna mention a candidate that you could send that we know, and then they end up getting a job, and it's a decent referral fee, like at least $1,000 or something minimum. All right, you could afford that. You know you could afford that. 3, you give us information so that we can properly prepare for interviews that we're going to go on. 4, you listen to us, to the wants that we have, and actually make an effort to try to accommodate. And 5, you don't ghost. You try to stay in touch with us and send us out several times, all right? And you keep in touch. And that means even if we get the job 6 months later, we hear from you to see how things are going. Then we know we're just not dollar signs to you, and that we're human beings, and that you actually care. You're more like an agent or even a manager, all right? Not just some one-off individual that just wants to throw you on a job, make some cash, and be gone. So if you do those things, then we will respect you as recruiters, and we will look forward to hearing from you, and ideally for the long run. So that's all I have to say. I hope that makes sense. All right, you guys are recruiters, you get us work. That's not something to be annoyed by. That's something we should be happy about and be looking forward to hearing from you, okay? So do those things, and then we will be happy to hear from you.